Hey guys, this is John with Marana Visuals, and we got a really fun one today. I can tell you it's fun because I already recorded for 20 minutes and then my Blackmagic camera ran out of storage capacity, so I'm doing it all again. So today we are going to look at the Deity Theos system versus the Rode Wireless Pro. And I've got some notes this time around so I don't jump all over the place. And we've got 10 items here that we are going to take a look at. And at the end of this video, if you stick around, we're gonna say who is each piece of equipment for. All right, let's go ahead and dive right in. But first, I will mention that I am recording on not one, not two, but 3 different microphones. Microphone number 1 is going to be the boom mic by Sennheiser MKE600. Microphone number 2 will be a secret, and microphone number 3 is also a secret. We want to do a little bit of a sound comparison, so I'm not going to tell you if number 2 or 3 is the Rode or the Deity. I'll reveal that one at the end as well. Okay, so let's go ahead and just jump right into the build quality. This is I'm not doing it like this, but I will just say that the Deity gets a win right off the bat for build quality. It comes in this awesome waterproof case. The receiver and the transmitters are just of incredible quality. They are built out of a machined aluminum. There's actually quite a bit of heft to them versus the Rode, which is just this little block of plastic. I've actually got the transmitter, the receiver elsewhere at the moment, so we've just got this one guy to look at. Yeah, so build quality wise, the Deity feels, it's very, very stout. There's almost no plastic on it. That's really, really nice. It also comes with a bunch of stuff, just like the Rode system. I'm not gonna go into all of it, but you get your 2 TRS to XLR cables, you've got batteries, cold shoe mount, you get 2 W Lav Pros, and a bunch of other stuff, including like antennas and all that jazz. The Rode system though is no slouch. You get your TRS cable that goes to your camera. You actually get 2 USB cables, USB-C cables. One of them is an extremely high data rate cable, so that's really, really nice. You get these little magnetic clippy guys so you can mount your transmitters with magnets. You get 2 of the Rode wireless, I think it's the Pro Lav. I can't remember what they're called, but you get 2 of them. They actually sound quite nice, if a little bit odd. And then you get a ton of wind protection. You get wind protection for the lav mic itself, and then you get wind protection for the transmitters that you can use as a microphone if you so choose. So that's pretty nice. And with Rode, of course, comes with the charging case, which will hold your 2 transmitters and receiver nicely. We'll charge them up when they're in there and connects to your computer. It's a pretty convenient system. Okay, let's go ahead now and talk about the feature set of each of these microphones. There's not a ton of different features when you're looking at the Rode Wireless Pro. The number one thing that comes to mind really is that you get 32-bit float, not just 32-bit float internal recording. You transmit and record simultaneously. You only transmit 24-bit audio to your camera. However, would be kind of neat if it could transmit the 32-bit float to something like the GH7, which can now accept 32-bit float audio. So yeah, you don't get a ton. To utilize any of the features on the Rode Wireless Pro, you need to utilize the Rode Central app, either from your computer or from your phone, utilizing that USB cable. It's kind of a pain in the neck. You can jump around in the menu on the receiver, but there are about 1 million different button combinations, and I haven't been able to remember what any of them are. You have the option to record 2 isolated tracks or have them merged. You also have the option of having a headset. I've never really done that, and don't entirely understand what that's all about, but you don't really get a ton of different features. When you look at the Deity, one of the features right off the bat is when you take a look at your routing options. So you've got your antenna ports, and then you've got an A and a B channel here. So normally, typical setup is what you would do is if you're running onto your camera, you can run channels 1 and 2 out of port A, from TRS to TRS. Or if you're running into a recorder, you take both of your TRS cables to XLR, run them to 2 channels on your recorder, and so you have that option. You can, however, you can choose to route the B port to be a monitoring port. So if you wanted to, you can plug your headphones directly into the receiver and monitor both channels of audio. But you can also go into your transmitter, and there is a headphone jack on the side. So when you're miking up your talent, you can just plug in headphones right to the side of the transmitter and listen to it that way. That's incredibly nice. So I'm not going to go into all the feature set, but just know in the Deity, there are a ton of features and customizabilities for you, and you can either access it on the receiver. So if you open up these 2 little buttons, boom. You can access the menu settings in there, or you can use the Theos audio app, which lets you do basically everything off of your phone from a range of, it's over 50 feet. I think it's maybe like 200 feet. It's a very, very nice app. Makes using both the receiver and the transmitter extremely, extremely nice. So moving on to number 3 is time code. So this is actually kind of an interesting thing. The Deity system works really, really nicely with their own Deity TC1 timecode boxes, the 1, 2, or 3 kit. Using the Theos audio app, you can effortlessly sync up both transmitters and receiver with the push of a button and have them running timecode just like that. It would be very nice if you had the ability to send a timecode out from either the transmitter or receiver to one of your cameras, because the Rode system actually does let you do that. So that's kind of neat. You can take your Rode Wireless Pro, set it on timecode. Of course, first you need to plug in your Rode Central app, or you have to have a TRS or USB cable connected to the receiver before you can go into the timecode settings on the receiver. I'm pretty sure. I might be wrong. If I'm wrong, please let me know. But what you can do with the Rode Wireless Pro is you can jam your camera, but you can also jam your Deity. So that's kind of nice. And if you're using a camera like the Blackmagic cameras that accept timecode for shorter duration shoots, you can jam your timecode from the Rode into the Blackmagic, and it will run. You can pull it out, and then you can also jam your receiver. Like I have the Zoom F88N Pro. I could go ahead and jam my recorder. I could jam my camera, and then I could also jam something like the Lumix S5 Mark II X However, I must keep the cable plugged in to the camera because it records the time code into the audio chain. So you cannot, you can't jam multiple like S52s and then jam something else. You've got to keep them plugged in. It actually could be an interesting little workaround. And tomorrow, I do plan on using my Rode system as a timecode jammer when I'm operating in the field. So kind of cool. So they both have timecode, but Rode can sync their timecode out, which is really, really nice. So let's talk about the usability of each system here. For the Deity, it's incredibly simple. For both the receiver and the transmitter, you pop open the battery door cover. All the buttons are right there. You've got a ton of different shortcuts. It's very easy to use. And then, of course, you can also use the Sidus Audio app and get all the functionality using the app, so that's really nice. With the Rode, honestly, the usability is kind of crap, but you don't really need to do anything with it. It's a set it and forget it type of system, so I don't really mind that it has less usability features. That's not an issue for me. Okay. What is an issue for me, however, is battery life. The Rode Wireless Pro and all of its buddies like the DJI mic and the Hollyland Lark, all the other things with their built-in lithium batteries, sure, they can give you 4 to 5 hours before needing to be recharged, but having the internal battery is just a pain in the neck. And if you use these all the time, that means you've got a built-in, usable lifespan, which is kind of crummy. It stinks to know that once the battery life on these starts going in the garbage, I've got to send them in, and then I need to either buy another set or rent a set in the time it takes to get these back. Now, practically speaking, on a day-to-day kind of thing, not looking at the long term, I think the battery life is fine. Having 5 hours on the transmitters, I think it's about 5 hours. Realistically, that's fine, right? You shoot for 3 or 4 hours, or maybe 5, you get right up to that battery limit. You take a lunch, plop them in the charging case, and you're good to go for the remainder of the day. That's fine. You then just need to make sure that you are plugging in the charging case at the end of the day. Not an issue. The Deity system, however, uses these, you can use rechargeable lithium ion or nickel metal hydride batteries or standard AA batteries. They send you a handful of AA batteries when you buy the kit. Now, the standard AA batteries gives you something, I think they say like 10, maybe 12, or even 14 hours, which you're not ever going to shoot for 14 hours, at least I hope not. But knowing that you're going to get 8 hours with the rechargeable batteries is just incredible, because that means you can get your talent mic'd up and then you don't have to interfere with them for the rest of the day. And you can monitor the battery life in the Sidus Audio app. And so if you did need to throw in some new batteries, it's as simple as just opening up the battery cover, tossing new ones in, and then you're good to go for another 8 to 10 hours. So that's really nice. And same deal with the transmitter. And you can actually, transmitter and receiver. With the receiver, this gets less battery life, but because it's going to be on you in your sound bag or on your camera, you can just run a USB power bank directly to it. And generally what I do actually is I will run my battery bank into this, and I also am running from that battery bank like a USB-C to 4-pin Hiroshi to power my recorder. So It's really, really nice. You do have those options, and I really like that. I'm actually not sure if you can run the transmitters off of a USB power bank. Maybe you can. Something that I should probably look at. Okay, let's talk about weather resistance. Well, neither of these systems are weather resistant at all, except that the included W Lav Pro from Deity is actually waterproof. So that is pretty nice. Can't really see it right now. I have their W Lav Pro in this little Bumblebee Industry Lav concealer for a shoot I'm doing tomorrow. But because the Lav is waterproof, you've got some options for waterproofing your transmitter and receiver. So I've heard people will use like non-lubricated condoms to waterproof these, but there's also a product I saw online called like the Aqua Pack. I'll have to take a look and see exactly what it's called, but it's designed for these body pack transmitters to waterproof them. So waterproof transmitter, waterproof Lav, you're good to go. Not really sure what you can do for the Rode system. However, it's a lot smaller, so it's definitely easier to kind of jerry-rig something to get it waterproof. So there's that. Oh, now that I'm actually looking at my notes real quickly, we're going to jump back to the usability. Something I didn't mention here is how is it to actually mic someone using these different systems? Now, using the Rode is very easy, especially with the lock-in connector, which, yeah, your mileage may vary. I will link a video that I did that teaches you how to actually get it locked in without futzing around. But generally, I get my locking connector in there, and then I wrap up the loose cable around the receiver. I put it in my talent's pocket, or if I need to, clip it onto their back or something. With the Deity, it does have a belt clip, so that's plenty easy. Where things get a little bit challenging is when you are miking female talent, especially if they are wearing like a dress or something with all the straps and what have you. That is where the Deity now moves more into the realm of like, you're on an actual shoot. This is maybe not the content creator pick if your talent has dresses and things like that. It's gonna be a lot simpler to use the Rode Wireless Pro. With this, you need like either an ankle holster, like a waist belt. You're gonna need a way to conceal this on your talent. It's gonna be a much more involved thing. It's not necessarily a bad thing, it just is different. So, let's now talk about the sound quality. The sound quality I find on the Deity system to be a lot nicer than that on the Rode. And if you can see here, I am wearing the Deity W Lav Pro and the Rode Pro lavalier, and we'll jump between those, and you can let me know what you think sounds better in the comments. I definitely think that the Deity system sounds better. That being said, the W Lav Pro is a much more sensitive microphone than the Rode. It takes some time and practice to really dial in the sound with the Deity kit. It isn't quite as simple as just take it out of the box, plug it in, and you're good to go. There's definitely more learning there. So this is a good segue into my next point. I talked about the sound being better on the Deity, but what about the safety net? Well, you don't really have one with the Deity. On the Rode system, you are able to transmit and record simultaneously and record 32-bit float internally. So if you do clip your transmitted audio, you do have a backup 32-bit float file, which will be distortion free. You have that luxury with the Rode system. Now, on the Deity, you do not have that. You do get 32-bit float recording, but because this is not on the 2.4 gigahertz spectrum, it runs from 550 up to, I think, 918 megahertz. Zaxcom owns the patent. So you cannot transmit and record simultaneously on the Deity, even though it's double the price of the Rode. So you don't have that safety net. You can get around that, and if you decide that, you know what, you're not going to transmit, if you just run internal recordings with time code on the cameras and your microphones, oh well, then you're good to go. You don't need to worry about it. You just need to be concerned when you're transmitting, because when you transmit from the Deity system, that is the audio that is going to be captured and used. There's no other backup track. That's it. So my advice to you is always, always, always run 2 sources of audio. I do on every single shoot that I'm doing. Run 2 sources, a boom mic and a lav mic. Okay, capiche? Very good. So, versatility is number 9. I'm gonna have to say that the Rode system is actually more versatile. I will typically actually use my Rode system like with my shotgun microphones. I also have a Rode Video Mic Pro Plus whatever. And because these transmitters are so small and have a magnetic connection, you can easily plug your shotgun mic into the transmitter, and then you've got a wireless shotgun boom. So if you wanted to set like a plant mic or something like that, or just put a shotgun mic closer to your talent but out of view, you could do that. You could turn your mic into wireless boom. So like I'm running the Sennheiser MKE600, which has a AA battery in it, so it gets its own power, and then you could easily run that into the Rode system. And so yeah, that just works really, really nicely. You don't really get the same kind of versatility out of the Deity system. Where you do get the versatility is just different routing options. There's all sorts of different things that you can do with the Deity system that you can't with the Rode, and I guess vice versa. Okay, the last point that I'm going to make is the cost. What do these things cost? Well, the Rode Wireless Pro, you can get that for about $400 when it's not on sale. That is compared to the Deity system, which is $1,100, which is more than double the cost. If you are working in film, or you're working on an actual set, or you have clients that work in downtown, you know, high rises or things like that, then you can't use the Rode Wireless Pro because there's going to be all that interference from the 2.4 gigahertz spectrum. So you just can't use it. So in that case, the $1,100 makes a ton of sense for the Deity. And in fact, this is a lot cheaper than alternatives. Like the Sennheiser systems are about $700 per channel, where this is, you know, about $550 per channel because you get the receiver and 2 transmitters. The other systems, you're spending almost as much and you get 1 channel. So yeah. Okay, last but not least, who is it for, each system? Now, the way that I shoot, I do a lot of shooting in remote locations where you're not worried about interference or anything like that. The Rode system works flawlessly. You're never, ever going to have an issue. And so that's fine. For me, if I could get the audio quality that I get in the Deity out of a package like the Rode, I'm going Rode all day. So basically, I'll just say the Deity system is not for the content creator. It is for the professional sound person, professional one-man band, higher-end productions, people doing things for film and TV or broadcast. You are going to want the Deity. Content creators, one-man band people, running gun shooters, anyone shooting in a professional set situation, anyone that doesn't need to worry about a ton of radio interference should definitely stick with the Rode system. And maybe what you do if you've got that money to burn, you get your Rode system and then you buy some really nice lavaliers. That is going to increase the sound quality of your Rode kit by a mile. Get yourself something like a Sennheiser MKE600 and you are going to be sitting real pretty. So those are my thoughts. Do I regret buying the Deity system? Absolutely not. I love it. It's going to grow with me. I'm really excited to have it in my kit. And that's about it. The last thing is the Rode wireless mic is going to be mic number 2. That's right, this mic right here. The Deity is mic number 3. This mic right here. We're going to jump between them for a little bit of fun. If you found this video helpful, please like, subscribe, and drop a comment down below. Let me know what other videos you would like to see. Thanks so much for checking it out, and we will see you on the next one.